Hi everyone, welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Rachel, this is Lemonade Stitching, and today is my July 2025 wrap-up. If you're new around here, my Flosstube wrap-ups are my kind of monthly recaps where I talk about all the cross-stitching I did in the last month. I show haul if I have any, talk about my finishes, my starts, all of that. Sometimes there's a couple other crafts mixed in, but for the most part, it's just cross-stitch. That is like my main love, main hobby. Also, I apologize for my atrocious nails that you're gonna see in this video. I have a trip coming up in a couple weeks, so I'm trying to like push to get closer to that until I get them done again, but they're looking rough, so ignore those. But anyway, let's jump into all the cross stitch I did in July of 2025. Really quickly, before I forget, I want to jump in and announce my giveaway winner from my Taken Inventory vlog that I posted earlier in July. Thank you all so much for your support on that video. I wasn't sure if people would find it interesting or helpful or anything, but I really like seeing how other people use Notion and just kind of computer applications in general. I like seeing the actual walkthroughs and seeing, you know, what people's processes are. So I was excited to share that, and I'm really happy that you all seem to enjoy it as well. I did choose my giveaway winner, so I'll put a screenshot up of the comment. The username was Taylor7Brown, so if that is you, congratulations Taylor. Please send me an email to lemonadestitching@gmail.com, and I'll have that in the description box as well, because I have your silks to send you, and then I will connect with Cam and she will send you the PDF of Taken Inventory as well, so that you can make your own project. I've just got them in a Ziploc bag, so hopefully there's no cat hair on them. I would feel bad if they were covered in cat hair. So here's your silks, and your project will be coming soon, or your pattern will be coming soon. And again, thank you so much to everyone for your support on that video. My main focus this past month was Christmas in July stitching. This is my second year in a row doing Christmas in July, and I really enjoy it. It's a great time to get some progress in on my Christmas whips and just kind of give them some more attention other than, you know, the Thanksgiving to Christmas couple of weeks at the end of the year. So I had 3 projects I was focused on, and I had some goals for each one, and I am happy to say I exceeded all the goals that I set for myself. So first up, we'll talk about Merry Christmas by Hobby House Press. My goal for this project was to get it to at least 50% this month, and I exceeded that. I got it to 64%. I added about 1,700 stitches, and this is my progress so far. I really love how this project's coming out. It's stitched on 40 count Overcast by Cedar River linens, 1/2 with a Cottage Garden threads in the color Leatherbound. This is a beautiful red and neutral combo. I'm really excited that I have more of this fat quarter left to stitch something else. I don't know what it'll be, but I'm really enjoying stitching on this Cedar River linen, and I will be buying more in the future when I go through my fabric stash and use it all up, you know how it goes. But anyway, that's Merry Christmas. So that was goal number 1, and here is the Cottage Garden threads. I highly recommend this floss. It is stunning. It's a very like deep red, not bright, but it's beautiful. The next project I was working on for Christmas in July was Marshmallow World by Heartstrings Samplery. I don't remember if this is a Jingle Ball exclusive or if I just bought it at Jingle Ball last year, but nevertheless, it was from Lindy Stitches Jingle Ball event in December of 2024, and I started it right away. I was super excited, and my goal for this project was just to get it to 50%, and I was going to finish it up in December, but I accidentally put 5,500 stitches in and got it done. So I'm really, really happy with how this came out. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I did add beads. So I've got like pearlescent white beads and some clear beads. And I'll try to get some better like close-up footage of the beads so you can see. But the backstory with this project is I stitched it with Cottage Garden threads that I had left over from In the Library by JedXStitch. And so there's 2 whites in this project. One is 3865, and then the other is, I don't know, it's meant to be some overdyed floss, but I used page turner for like the birch trees and the snowman. and I was worried that I wasn't gonna have enough thread, and I was like, please God, if anyone has some page turner, I will gladly pay you for it, because every LNS I checked with that carries Cottage Garden threads did not have that floss. And so when I started working on this month, I was like, let's just see how far I can get and then we'll reevaluate. And when I tell you I used every single bit of that floss, I am not exaggerating. I finished the birch trees and I had 2 single strands left, and then I just had to do like the smoke coming out of the barn, and then I just threw the rest away. It was like literally 1 strand that was left. And so thankfully I had the perfect amount. Someone actually did reach out to offer to send me their skein, which I was so appreciative of. So that's kind of what pushed me to like get to the point where I needed more. But then I was like, oh no, never mind, you keep it. I've got literally just enough. So I'm very thankful that I had enough. And yeah, and then while I was stitching those trees, I was like, you know, what if for all these little tiny snowflakes, I just put in beads? I was very inspired by Maddie from Kitty Stitch. She is one of my good friends and she loves beads. This year she's become absolutely obsessed. And so I also wasn't looking forward to like stitching all these tiny little snowflakes and like, you know, single stitches here and there. So I went through my stash. I had some leftover beads from different like Mill Hills and stuff. And I didn't have enough of one color, which is why I used 2 different color of beads. So the pearlescent white beads, I'll have to check the exact number of Mill Hill if you're interested, but those are just regular size Mill Hill beads. And then the clear beads are petite, Mill Hill petite beads. And again, I'll find the number and put it on the screen. But I was a little worried that I wouldn't be able to put beads on this fabric. It is a 36 count Blue Ridge by Atomic Ranch. And so normally the recommendation when you're using beads is you do it on like 28 or even 32 count linen, but thankfully the petite beads were the perfect size to fit on there. And then with the larger beads, I wasn't really that worried about it because I was only using them in single spots. Like I wasn't trying to line a bunch of them up, if that makes sense. So I think it came out really great. If anyone else is stitching this, would highly recommend using some beads. And I think it actually adds a lot to the piece that there's 2 different color beads on there. So I'm really, really excited for this one. I'm excited to get it framed and ready to be displayed this winter. The third project I wanted to work on this Christmas in July was Celtic Noel by Lavender and Lace. I had a goal to get this to 75%, and that includes stitching and beads. I've got my beads kind of factored into my total stitch count for this. And I exceeded that goal and I got this to 77%. I put in about 4,100 stitches on this, and here is Celtic Noel. She is so unbelievably stunning. I focused a couple different places this month, so I'll try and get closer so it's easier for you to see. First up, I added her like wreath, candle wreath that she's holding. I just kind of like worked my way past this and just was ignoring it. So I was like, why don't I go back up to the top and finish out her hands? So that was my first focus for the month. Then I came down and I worked on extending her dress. So she's got like, you know, these just huge lines of color that kind of create the fold in her dress. So I worked on getting those completed. And then I moved my focus into the swirly part of the dress at the bottom. So I got this kind of fold completely done with the exception of the beads. And then the other side of the dress, I started putting in the metallic swirlies. I don't know what else to call those. And then I worked on bringing the gold floss down and doing like the bottom outline of the dress. So this is looking incredible. I'll give you another kind of full view. And I'm so excited again for this to be finished and on the wall. It is stunning. I love it. I'm really excited to bead it. So yeah, coming soon, a fully finished Celtic lady, hopefully by the end of the year. I only have, let's see, about 4,000 stitches and beads left altogether. I think the beads are like 1,000 beads or 1,200 beads. So I've got like 3,000 stitches, 1,000 beads, and then she'll be done. So hopefully by the end of the year, this will be a finish, and then I can get her framed and displayed. Another thing that happened in July was the Midsummer Stitch event hosted by Stephanie from Lindy Stitches and her whole team. It's a team effort, not just a one-man show. And unfortunately, I was traveling during Midsummer Stitch this year. We were in my hometown for a wedding, and the first day of Midsummer Stitch, well actually both days, we were driving home New York to Kentucky. It was like a 10-hour drive. It was horrible. So I couldn't participate very much this year, which I was bummed about, but I did prioritize. I actually put it on my Instagram story, a picture of me like with my laptop up in the car at 11:59 so I could make sure and get my shopping done right when the shopping hall opened on Saturday. And thankfully I was able to snag both of the things I wanted to get, and that was the Midsummer Stitch exclusive linen from Bestitch Me. So this is the 40 count linen. It's a beautiful purple and blue. I guess I'll open it up. It's so pretty, I feel like you have to open this one up. So mine is very like pinky purple. I know obviously every cut is different. I don't have a plan for this, and it's not necessarily something I would normally buy, but I was influenced, I was peer pressured by myself. And I thought, you know, if I don't get it, I'm gonna eventually find the perfect pattern to go on it, and I'm gonna be so sad that I don't have it. So I splurged, I got the exclusive linen. So that was one thing that I wanted to get. And then the other thing that I wanted to get was the floss pack for the JedXStitch exclusive A Summer's Day. I figured since I was already getting the linen, I might as well just get the floss from Lindy Stitches as well, and they can travel together. So I just got the called for over dyes. Again, I wasn't home to start it the weekend of the event anyway, so I figured I might as well just have it shipped to me. And Lindy Stitches is so fast with shipping. If you've never ordered from them, I highly recommend. I ordered this Saturday afternoon with, you know, everybody else on the Midsummer Stitch event, and I had them in hand ready to start the project Tuesday when I got home from work, which I was really impressed about. So I did start Summer's Day. I am stitching this on the called for Dolomite, so I'm stitching it 1/2 on 40 count Dolomite by Fiber on a Whim, obviously with all the called for floss. And I decided to do a center start for this one. Everyone else, or a lot of people, you know, started in the top left corner, and I was like, well, so many people have already started this, let's switch it up, let's do something different. So I started in the center and was gonna start with like the bottom portion of the piece, which is like the night portion. Jessica has said, I think in her meet and greet and possibly a Flosstube video, that she kind of intended it to be like the top is the day part of a summer day, and then this is the night portion of a summer day. So I thought it would be fun to kind of stitch on the night portion when I'm working on this at night. I can stitch on the day portion when I stitch on it during the day, or when the night portion is done. But yeah, I think I got about 1,000 stitches in on this, not a huge start. But I had a lot of other things I was working on, as you've seen and as you will see in a second. And I also have the perfect project bag to put this in. I put it in my Maloka Designs project that I made a couple weeks ago. It's pink and orange, it's colorful, it's funky, and I was like, what a perfect pairing. I wasn't sure what I was gonna put in this bag when I made it, and then I had the perfect project, which is fun. Once I finished my Christmas and July goals and I had my midsummer start, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to work on next because I still had like a week-ish left in July, but I was a little burnt out. Having spent so much time on Celtic Noel and Marshmallow World to get that finished. So I was like, let me pull out some other projects that I wasn't necessarily planning on working on. So first I decided to pull out Baldaquin Birdies by Embroidery. This is the 2025 stitch along, and I got like 930 stitches in on this. Not a ton, but a little something something. I think I focused, I have no idea. I know it was in here somewhere in the center. but this is where I worked on with this. I'm still about 2,000 something stitches behind in my goal, but I don't care. I'm not that worried about it. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Everything is just arbitrary and eventually it'll get done. So I'm happy with how that's coming out. So I put some stitches in on that and I brought it to work a couple times for my lunch break. And then I wasn't really loving that, obviously, since I only got 900 stitches in. So I was like, what else can I pull out? And I was looking at my whip list and I decided to pull out some projects that were close to a finish. And I finished 3 other things this month. Can you believe that? I did not think that was gonna happen, but oh well. I was stitching like it was my full-time job, and I have a full-time job. It's like my second full-time job. But first I finished Kindred Friends, which is the StitchCon exclusive from this year, and I stitched this on the called for 32 count, I think. Yeah, 32 count cookie dough by Needle Bling Designs, and I did a stash conversion. So if you're wondering what any of these colors are, I am happy to let you know. Eventually I'll probably make a graphic to post on Instagram, but yeah, this is Kindred Friends. I really toned it down a little bit, made it a little more dark and I don't know, whatever this is. However you would describe this, I toned it down a little, made it more me, worked with what I had in stash, and I did rip out the red stitches that I had done at StitchCon and replace them with a darker red because it just didn't fit with everything else that I pulled. So that is Kindred Friends. I'm happy that is done and off the list. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I might make a little like pin cushion, I might make a bag. I'm not sure. It's just gonna go in the project roll for a while and just sit there until I'm ready to deal with it. So after I finished that, I was like, okay, what else can I finish? And I pulled out June by Crocette a Gogo. This had less than 100 stitches left. Wrong. Less than 1,000 stitches left. And I was like, let me finish that up. So I pulled this out and spent, I think, 2 days stitching on this and got it all completed. So now this is ready to be FFO'd. And I thought I only had one more of these monthly things to do once I finish this, but I fear I have 2 left. So this series, who knows when it'll be done, but I don't think I've stitched April yet. I thought I only had May to do, but I think I miscounted or lost something or whatever. So I think I still have 2 left in this series. And that is stitched, I don't know why I can't ever remember to say the details, but this is stitched 2/2 on 32 count beautiful beige linen with some of the called for and some just stash DMCs. I keep these pretty true to the covers and I just use what I have. So after I finished both of those, I was like, there's still a day left in July. Like, what else can I fill out or what else can I work on? And I had been tentatively planning my August plans like the last few days of July, and I was like, I'm really gonna focus on my summery pieces, I'm gonna focus on June, I'm gonna focus on strawberry naps, but then obviously I finished June and I was like, well, I might as well start working on strawberry naps because I want to finish that in August, but then I accidentally finished that too. So here is my finished strawberry naps, or no, yeah, strawberry naps by Lindy Stitches. I love how this turned out. I was a little iffy about it last night when I was finishing it. If you've seen any of my floss tubes before, you'll probably be able to tell that I did pull out the 2 strawberries I had already stitched and replace them with red berries because the pink I had just wasn't doing it for me. And at first I didn't love it, like when I finished it, but then I added Lucy Gray down in the bottom in this fun backstitch font that I found on Google and I am obsessed. I think it balanced out the red perfectly. I stitched this on a 32 count baby pink lugana from Color and Cotton. I used Dinky Dyes for the green and the red, and then I used DMC 535 to represent my gray kitty Lucy, who makes an appearance in a lot of my like Flosstube extra videos. She loves to just check in on things and make sure everything is on the up and up. she tries to do crafts, but the no thumbs thing makes it hard for her. So anyway, I am very, very happy with this. I'm excited to have it completed, and eventually it'll be framed or something. But that is Strawberry Naps featuring Lucy Gray, and yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about that one. This is, I don't remember if I just said this, but this is a solo dye color in cotton, so it's not named, but it's just a light pink. It's pretty basic, nothing too crazy, but it is very pretty. With those 3 finishes, that brought my whip list down to like 14 projects, which was insane. And then again, I was like, what else is summery? What else can I work on? And a project that I've had on the back burner is Cherished Dreams by Leisure Art. And I started this at the spring, one of the spring Lindy Stitches events. I don't remember which one. And before this month, it still had less than 1,000 stitches in it. And I wasn't really loving it. I wasn't loving the fabric, and it just wasn't really speaking to me. So I decided I needed to pull it out again and decide if I was gonna keep it, if I was gonna restart it, if I was just gonna give up, what the situation was. So I pulled out Cherished Dreams, and I continued working on the fence post here. It's like not focusing. There we go. I continued working on the fence post, and I still hate it. Again, I don't know if, I think it's the fabric, but I don't know if it's just the fabric. This is a really old chart. It's from the 80s, so like obviously DMCs have changed, and it's not giving me what the cover image gives me. So I am gonna UFO this, at least for now. I'm gonna put it downstairs. I'm gonna take it out of my whip list, out of my whip bin, and if in a couple months I like really wanna try again, I'll bring it back. But for now, it's gonna be a UFO. It's just not doing it for me. And it makes me really sad, and I don't usually UFO things. I think I've UFO'd like one other project. I like to see my projects through, but I just can't. I don't know. There's something about this one. So this is going off the list, at least for a couple months. And I'm just gonna pretend I don't have it and see if I care. All right, and then one other project I worked on just last night. This one I actually asked for your help choosing colors for in my last Flosstube video. This is Anna Funk. And the story behind this sampler is that it was stitched by a girl, Anna, and she was moving, and she asked each of her friends to design a motif that she could make a friendship sampler out of. And so when I started this, I knew I wanted to change the colors, but I wasn't sure kind of how or what I wanted my placement to be. So I decided to have all my stitchy friends pick colors, like pick a motif, pick colors for it, and then that's how I was gonna stitch this. So last time you saw this, I asked for help choosing colors for the next motif. I showed you guys my color palette that I'm working with, which is just like a huge bright rainbow. And I asked you to leave a comment suggesting your colors for this particular motif. And I picked a winner last night, and the username is @thestitchyveg, I think is how you say it. And she suggested, I'll put her comment up here, but she suggested just doing green and pink for this motif. She didn't want me to use 4 colors, she just wanted me to use like the 2 or 3. And so this was my interpretation of her comment, and this is what I stitched. I decided to do a little extra green, so some of these swirlies, I kind of interpreted them as like little buds coming off of the branch. I just felt like too much pink if I stitched them all pink. So I had a little extra of the light green, and to me they kind of represented like spring buds, you know? So let me hold this up. This fabric is very see-through, and I don't have a big enough board to like show the whole thing. But here it is. This is a 32 count baby sheep by Extra Designs. I'm stitching it 2/2. I want the color, color starts off good and then the camera adjusts and it gets less good. But it's kind of a buttery yellow linen, And this is about half of the project, like size-wise, not stitching-wise, because the other side is much more dense. I do have 2 other motifs on here that I need to stitch. There's one here and one here. And then I need to kind of map out my colors for my alphabet. So that is next on my list. I think most of the motifs on the other side of the project are like have colors chosen. So eventually I'm going to spend some time in markup and just kind of looking and seeing what I want to do. I think I'm going to wait a couple weeks on this and see if I make any new stitching friends and just see what happens with this. I am not in a rush to finish it. I am okay if this is on the list a little longer. It's not a big sampler. It's only like 5,000 stitches, I think. But I don't know. I started it as a friendship sampler, so I kind of want to keep that momentum. I'm going to be going to my new LNS a couple of times in the next couple of weeks, and I might make some new stitchy friends, so I want to save some motifs for them, should they exist. I say that, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to be so socially awkward, and I'm not going to make any friends. No, I'm going to try really hard to make friends. I'm really excited to have an LNS in Lexington, so I'm going to try really hard to make some friends. That is everything I have to share today. I worked on a lot more projects than I intended to, and like I said, I was stitching like it was my second full-time job. I got 16,000 stitches in this month, which is insane for me. I feel very accomplished when I reach 10,000 in a month. That's kind of my goal and what I project that I'll hit. But this month I was just really ignoring all responsibilities and stitching every chance I got. So I don't think I'm going to be able to carry that momentum through this next month. August, I have some work travel coming up, so I'll be out for a couple of weeks, and then school starts at the end of the month. I am in grad school, so my first class starts I think the last week of the month. So I'm sure I'll have work to do for that. And then I also have like a part-time internship situation, and we're kind of picking up again with that. So I'm gonna be busy, and hopefully I am not shirking all responsibilities and stitching, but we'll see what happens. I say that now, and then I'll probably find more time than I anticipate and whatever. So first week of September, you will see what I got up to in August. I do have some plans for the month. Like I've said, I kind of want to focus on my summery projects, and then also my birthday's coming up. So my birthday is Tuesday, August 5th, so I will be starting Elizabeth Scora with my friends at Bridgen, the Museum Stitcher, and Cam from Cam the Stitcher. I peer pressured them into starting that huge sampler. So I love them and appreciate them. But they are planning to start that with me. We all got the silk packs at StitchCon this year, so that will be a start for sure. I'm like itching to start it. I want to start it so bad, but I really like to start my birthday starts on my birthday, so I gotta wait. And then I think I'm gonna give Lovely Victorian Homes some attention. I haven't worked on her in a couple of months. That's a big dimensions kit that I have, and other than that, we're just gonna kind of see what comes. I'm looking at my Notion. The other projects I've kind of tentatively planned on stitching on is Summer's Day, because obviously that's a summer project. And then I think I might pull out Love Gains by Modern Folk Embroidery. Stitching with my Dinky Dyes on Strawberry Naps was so fun, and that project is on 36 count. I think it's 2/2 if I remember correctly, so it'll be pretty easy stitching. I might be able to stitch it in hand, and I think it'll be good for traveling because it's not 40 count, so it's a little easier to see, but it's only one color, so we'll see. This is gonna be a pretty big like travel, like the trip that I have this month is gonna be pretty busy, so I don't anticipate having a ton of downtime to stitch. But obviously we have to be prepared. We can't just bring nothing. So that is that. And those are my plans, but we'll see if I actually stick to them or what happens in my next Flosstube update. I would really love to start posting like one additional video a month, either a vlog or more information about how I organize or whatever. I've got some ideas, So stay tuned if you're interested in those. Again, with school starting, I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna go. I do know that I will be filming a Flosstube extra either today or tomorrow because I bought a mystery box of cross-stitch supplies on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm gonna film a little unboxing. I have been very good. I've had it in my trunk for like 3 days. Haven't looked in it, haven't opened it. I haven't even let it in the house because if it's in here, I'm gonna wanna go through it. So I'm gonna bring it in, live react with you guys, and then I'll probably schedule that to go up a week or 2 from today so that I can kind of space them out. But just keep your eyes out because hopefully there will be some good stuff in there. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, spending some time, seeing the projects I got up to. I'd love to hear about what you guys have been working on, how your summer's going, all of that in the comments or on Instagram or whatever. I love this community and I love getting to connect with you guys and getting to make new stitchy friends. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.